Well, good morning. As we continue to fill in this morning, I want to welcome each and every one of you to the First Parish in Lincoln. It's kind of a miracle that any of us are here today. We've already had such a busy weekend full of church activities. Live in Lincoln Center concert last night where about 130 people up the hill listened to the beautiful music of Guatemalan singer Mercedes Escobar. Then yesterday afternoon, about 50 First Parish folks journeyed to Roxbury to hear our own Ray Shepherd, including 12 of our kids, to hear Ray Shepherd deliver a talk at the Unitarian Universalist Urban Ministry Meeting House in Roxbury. And this morning, friends, we're so happy to have you with us on this important Sunday in the life of our church as we continue on our journey of building community and nurturing spirituality and pursuing justice. This weekend marks a turning point in the calendar for many traditions and cultures. Our Muslim siblings are celebrating the end of Ramadan. It's also the New Year, the Persian New Year, and so we extend blessings to people across the world celebrating these holy days, some of whom, of course, are feeling profoundly unsettled and afraid in these times. Friday, as you probably noticed, was also the spring equinox, so we're celebrating the inching possibilities of a little more spring. I can't wait till it will actually feel like spring here in Lincoln. I'd like to say a special hello to anyone who might be visiting with us this morning. One of the ministers would love to chat with you after the service. And a special welcome as well to Dawn, our guest organist this morning, filling in for Miranda Loud as she takes a much-deserved Sunday off. Let's give a warm welcome to Dawn. And to our church member, Jessica Cooper Morgan, who will be singing a solo for us later in the service. A big wave to everyone who is with us online this morning. We're so happy to have you. If you're sick, we hope you feel better soon. Thanks to our hospitality team, our ushers, and our all RE volunteers up the hill as well. And gratitude to these beautiful flowers and whole design that's going on down below the pulpit this morning. These were given by the Generous Giving Committee to celebrate the generosity of spring and of this community. Today, of course, marks the kickoff of our stewardship campaign, that time every year when we ask members and friends of First Parish to consider a pledge to support our budget during the next church year. And today also is the day when we launch the public phase of our Opening Doors campaign, the capital campaign to transform our parish house, that big stone building up the hill, into a more beautiful, welcoming, and connective space. Kit and I will have much more to say about both these campaigns during our sermon today, but for now, let me just extend our gratitude to our whole Generous Giving team, as well as all those little subcommittees of our Opening Doors project that have been working hard for the last 18 months or so to help bring this project forward. Friends, here at the First Parish in Lincoln, we are living out our Unitarian and our congregational heritage, but more than that, we are on the lookout for the new light that is ready to break forth here and now from our different experiences of the holy, which means that whoever you are today, wherever you are on your journey, whatever your range of abilities, however you love, you are central to what we are about. And we're so glad that you're with us this morning. I would invite us now to rise in body or spirit as we continue to deepen into our time together through our opening words. To worship means to consider that which has worth. Today we consider with gratitude the many gifts of this community. The opportunity to be affirmed in who we are and to offer that affirmation to others. The chance to stand up together to help remake the world in the ideal of justice. The freedom to choose one's own path to truth and to learn from the paths of others. The space to expand our spirits and reconnect after busy weeks. Regular reminders that we must see our world through the lens of love. So today we consider with gratitude and humility what it means to pay forward what has been paid forward for us. Let us enter into worship with gladness in our hearts.
Please join me in saying our covenant. In the love of truth and in the spirit of Jesus, we unite for the worship of God and the service of all.
Friends, I'm excited to invite forward Chloe Rose Crouch for a brief time for outreach this morning. Chloe Rose is the relatively new director of an organization that is near and dear to our hearts, the Community Day Center of Waltham, an organization that we've connected with many times in our past, and we're brainstorming a new way to connect with them. So join with me in welcoming Chloe Rose.
Good morning, everyone. It is wonderful to see you all here. Thank you for welcoming me into your community, and thank each and every one of you for all the support you've given our agency in the past. It's been a really wonderful partnership. The Community Day Center of Waltham specializes in working with people who are experiencing chronic homelessness. This means our guests have been homeless for a year or more. Many have been homeless for 5 years. We even have a handful of people that have been living on the streets and in shelters for decades. And before I get into the work that we do, the ways in which you all here have supported us, I just want to give you a little bit of an understanding of who our guests are, who these folks are that we work with every day. If you are chronically homeless, it is almost 100% certain that you have a PTSD diagnosis. Studies have been conducted on this. If you've lived outside or in shelters for a year or more, chances are this is a diagnosis that you have and something that you are living with. We also see 2 to 3 times greater prevalence of schizophrenia and paranoia compared to the rest of the community. Many of our guests are struggling with substance use, alcoholism, drug use, extremely high rates of depression, bipolar disorder, and also a lot of physical health issues. When you've lived outside for years and even decades, when you struggle with things like mental health issues and substance use issues, things like your daily health, your hygiene, they're not your priority anymore, right? Your priority is where are you going to eat that day? Where are you going to sleep that night? Our community is filled with sadness, with grief. We lose members of our community at a clip of about once a month. People pass away from overdoses, from exposure to the elements outside, to the health issues that are way more prevalent in this group of people than the rest of the population. And what's amazing to me and what humbles me every day is when I walk into our center, I hear laughter, I hear joy, And I hear sounds in community who are grieving together and struggling together. And despite what our guests go through every day, it really is a remarkable place of community and connection. So the Community Day Center of Waltham, first and foremost, is a drop-in space. This means that we have no red tape around our services, no matter who you are, where you're from, what condition you're in. As long as you're safe for yourself and for other people, you are welcomed into our community when our doors open for the day. Because of this policy, because we don't require appointments, IDs for you to be from a certain region or area, we end up working with our most vulnerable neighbors, people that can't really make it in other social service agencies because it requires things like appointments, IDs, sign-up lists. I like to think of our work in two separate buckets, right? We have our life-saving work and our life-changing work. So our life-saving work includes the things that we do every day just to keep our folks alive. We have an overnight program that runs through the harshest months of the winter. We host 20 people there that otherwise would be sleeping outside every night. We offer lunch every day, and we serve an average of 45 to 50 people. We're the only place in Waltham you can get a free shower. You can do your laundry for free as well and have access to clothing and hygiene products. While that program is incredibly important and we ensure our guests can make it to the next day, to the next week, our heart is really in our case management program, and that's where things really get to change for our guests, right? So among all this suffering, among all this grief, there's actually a lot of celebrations and a lot of joy, and last year, our case managers placed 30 people into their very own apartments. It's definitely worth celebrating because it takes a village to make that happen, even just for one person. In addition to housing, we do things like medical referrals, detox programs. Last month alone, we sent 3 guests to rehab for substance use treatment, which is always really special. We place people in jobs, employment training, and whatever other services they need to move forward out of this situation, right? And I kind of like to close talks like this with stories. I think it's a really nice way for you guys to be able to connect with our people and the work that we do. And my favorite is of this one gentleman. For the sake of this conversation, I'm going to call him Sam. And I knew Sam since the day I started working at the Community Day Center. And one thing that was really obvious about Sam was that he was at his lowest point in his substance use. He couldn't walk up the stairs without tripping and falling. At least once a week we were sending him to the hospital because he would fall and hit his head because he had been drinking or because he was drinking so much we were really concerned about his safety. This man had been living outside for 5 years. He'd often fall asleep in his plate of food because he was drinking. And one day, about a year ago, he came to me and he said, "Chloe Rose, I want to go to treatment." And I said, "Great, that's awesome." I called a ride for him, I got him there, he relapsed. About a month later, he came back and he said the same thing to me. A month more of struggling, living outside, staying at our night program. And he said, "Chloe Rose, I'm ready again." And we sent him again. This happened 23 times. We sent this man 23 times, okay? After 23 times, we stopped hearing from him. This could mean a good thing, it could mean a bad thing, we weren't sure. But then one day, about 6 months ago now, he called our office phone. And he said, "I just want to let you know that I've been clean for over a year. I work full-time at a hospital now, and I'm living out in Worcester in my very own place, and it was because of you guys." And it was just one of those special moments, and like I said, they're not always happy endings. We lose people constantly, right? But at our center, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope, and there is a lot of change and progress forward. And I just want to end by saying I'm grateful to all of you, because this faith community has been incredibly generous to us in so many ways. And I know at the end of this service, we're going to talk about more ways for you guys to get engaged and volunteer. I will also be at coffee hour, so please grab me if you have any more questions about the work we do or ways to get involved. Thank you so very much.
First reading is two short readings. The first from the Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh. It is possible the next Buddha will not take the form of an individual. The next Buddha may take the form of a community practicing understanding and loving kindness, a community practicing mindful living. And the practice can be carried out as a group, as a city, as a nation.
The second of our first readings is from the Quaker author and theologian Parker Palmer. Whether we know it or not, like it or not, honor it or not, we are embedded in community. Whether we think of ourselves as biological creatures or spiritual beings or both, the truth remains we were created in and for a complex ecology of relatedness. And without it, we wither and die. This simple fact has critical implications. Community is not a goal to be achieved, but a gift to be received.
We come now to the time in our service that we set aside for silent and spoken prayer. To prepare ourselves, remaining seated, we will sing the hymn located in your bulletin. Following the hymn, we'll take 2 minutes for silent prayer, meditation, and reflection.
Oh
beloved, we are held in the warm embrace of community week in and week out, where it is safe to lift up that which weighs on our hearts and minds, those people and the places, even ourselves, where we worry, where we're concerned, where we are longing. And it is also a safe, nurturing place to cherish that which brings us joy. We've already heard from Chloe Rose's testimony today, the reality that joy and sorrow come to us all mixed together. And so I invite us now to pray together, to hold each other's prayers in common. For what and for whom are we praying today?
March 21st is the first day of spring. It's also my mother's birthday. She would have been 99. In her final years, she would, after some medical catastrophe, she'd say, "Es finito," and I would say, "No, Mom, it's not finished." And it's still not finished. Her boxes of slides and correspondence and notes all went to Loyola University last week, 4 big boxes for their archive. I'm boxing up paintings to go there next week. She's going to have a great grandchild in the month of April. So no, Mom, it's not finished.
It's a prayer of gratitude, I guess. A few nights ago, I had a very interesting dream where I had died and I was in the afterlife. And I was going around meeting people who had been important to me in life. And like kids that I've taught. And I saw my brother and I asked him, was I a good brother? And he said, you were a good brother. And it was just so beautiful. And it's not like I'd been thinking about that at all, so it's interesting to me how parts of ourselves, I think, are growing and asking questions that we may not even be consciously aware of. So thank you.
A prayer of healing for Andy Fallander, our intrepid leader of the Quiet Walks on Friday, and a steady member and participant here at First Parish. He's on the mend, he's going to be fine, and we're all cheering for him. Amen.
Thank you, Barbara. Oh, a gentle reminder, if you can share your first name if you'd like, that helps us.
A prayer of gratitude for church members who came out to support our fundraiser on Sunday for the food pantry, and also because of the support, there were 5 families that utilized the food pantry that were able to get family portraits for the first time taken, and I think it meant a lot to them. And also prayer of gratitude for one spotted salamander that I found on the road Monday night that almost got run over by a car. So it was a tense situation, but it worked out.
This is Liz, a prayer of celebration. We got to meet yesterday Dave's grandniece, a month old, and such a gift to hold her.
This is Barbara. continue the good healing, Tucker. We miss you. See you soon.
I'm David. I'd like to recognize and celebrate the life of Robert Mueller, who passed away on Friday. He was necessary for the United States, and he represented the best kind of man for our age.
Barbara, a prayer for the families in Lebanon and Iran and in other parts of the Middle East who've lost their homes and who worried about what's coming next. And may our leaders not glory in the violence and destruction of war.
Colleen, at the filling station where I go, there's a man who pumps the gas who is Syrian, and I always ask him how he's doing, and we talk a little politics. I ask for prayers for him. He's always unhappy. And I saw him yesterday, and I couldn't remember. I said, are you Christian or Druze? Or he said, no, I'm Muslim. I said, Sunni or Shia? He said, Shia. He said Sunni. And I asked him about the issues in the Middle East, in Iran. And he said that he was deeply afraid that the leaders in Iran were trying to turn this into a religious war. And it was like deeply coming from his heart. And so I pray for not only peace for him, but some peace perhaps for the Middle East.
I'm thinking about our neighbors on Hanscom Air Force Base, especially the children who are affected by the global landscape and particularly events in Iran. And I know that they're getting a lot of support. We have wonderful people over there, but these are children who are in the military whether they like it or not. Our heart goes out to them and hope we can be supportive.
Prayers from our online congregation, from Sarah Cannon Holden, a prayer that the leaders of this country would remember the words of Micah, do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. And a prayer from Marianne Hales, a prayer of gratitude that my two oldest grandsons could be together this weekend. We lift up all of these prayers of our community, those that we have spoken aloud and those that we hold in the silence of our hearts. Amen.
We've been talking about grace this month. As I was pondering on a walk up to the car after a sermon a few weeks back on the difference between love and grace, they seem so similar. Love is packing the rain boots. Grace is your kid finding the puddle anyway. Our 5-year-old Cole found that puddle right outside the sanctuary on a hill down towards the library. And when I said found, I mean as sure as a comet finding its course. Full commitment. Zero hesitation. He launched himself into the mud with the kind of joy of only someone who has never once Googled how to remove mud stains from clothes. He arrived home wearing nothing but his underwear, streaked head to toe, in what I can only describe as the entire month of March. And he was beaming. That is grace. Not the absence of mess, but the full embrace of it. Last Sunday night, we watched the Oscars, which is admittedly not my cup of tea, but very much is my wife's. And so I caught 30 minutes before my eyes started to flutter while she persisted to the grand finale, watching Michael B. Jordan win Best Actor and gracefully name all of the people who built his foundation. The Oscars always gives us a good list of movies to watch, so this week we watched the documentary feature winner, Mr. Nobody Against Putin. The story of a mild-mannered Russian schoolteacher named Pasha Talankin, who quietly started filming how his students were being fed pro-war propaganda after Russia invaded Ukraine. A nobody schoolteacher in a poor mining town near the Ural Mountains. When the director accepted the Oscar, he said, "You lose your country through countless small acts of complicity. But even a nobody is more powerful than you think." Watching Pasha's story hits close to home. Last week, I celebrated my own 35th anniversary of coming to the United States from Russia. I think of my mother, who had the bravery to uproot everything she knew and start us a new life here. We bought round-trip tickets, just like Pasha did, and we never came back. What it took for her to do that quietly, without fanfare, for us, that is grace. In every age, grace shows up as the school teacher, the parent who sacrifices for their child, the congregation in Lincoln that decides this is worth showing up for. It's what ordinary people do for each other, together, when they believe that the thing they're building is worth the mud. So grant us the willingness to be messy, to thaw this spring, to work together to let something new come up, even when the ground is uncertain. May it be so. Amen. Now please join, if you wish, in saying the unison prayer that appears in your order of service. O Spirit of life and renewal, we have wintered enough, mourned enough, oppressed ourselves enough. Our souls are too long cold and buried, our dreams all but forgotten, our hopes unheard. We are waiting to rise from the dead. In this, the season of steady rebirth, we awaken to the power so abundant, so holy, that returns each year through earth and sky. We will find our hearts again and our good spirits. We will love and believe and give and wonder and feel again the eternal powers. The flow of life moves ever onward through one faithful spring and another, and now another. May we be forever grateful. Will the ushers please come forward to receive this morning's offering? us join together in saying the offertory prayer. We give thanks for both these gifts and the givers, and we ask that we may use these gifts wisely and well, both to nurture the life of this congregation and to further the goals of justice and peace throughout the world. Amen.
Our second reading comes from the book of Acts, the Acts of the Apostles, the end of the 14th chapter. And Paul and Barnabas have just gone on this long journey to share the good news, to grow the church, and now they're back. And this is the Message translation. On arrival, they got the church together and reported on their trip, telling in detail how God had used them to throw the door of faith wide open so people of all nations could come streaming in. You're going to get a rare joint sermon this morning, so at some point, Nate's going to tag me out and we'll switch. Will you listen together? Let us listen for the Spirit to speak through these words and through the spaces between the words. So from the earliest days of this whole Spirit of Jesus movement, people like Paul and Barnabas, in this reading from the Acts of the Apostles, have embarked upon ambitious projects to to open doors. Ambitious projects to throw open the doors of faith, not just to some of the people, not just to the ones who were insiders already, who had the right credentials or background, but for everybody. If these doors of ours could talk, see if you're near the aisle, peek back at those historic doors. If those doors all across our campus here at the First Parish could talk, they'd carry so many stories in their weight and layers of paint, their heft and creaky hinges. In my mind's eye, I see a montage of doors opening over the past 279 years of this community. Those big doors behind you all and all the various doors, those lovely but confusing porticos, which are largely unused, and of course, the historic buildings that preceded these two, some burned down, some were scrapped. I see a montage of door openings that make up our own lives in community. Imagine with me, will you? You open the doors, it's your first time here. Maybe you've come to the wrong building at first, you're confused, and now a little late. Perhaps you hadn't darkened the door of a church for years, maybe decades, but something nudged you, tugged you, invited you. Some door creaked open. Something relit that spiritual pilot light in your heart. Or perhaps it had been burning all along. Maybe you came for one reason, to be useful, to serve those in need, and found yourself hungry for something more. Was it the sound of singing? The way the sunlight fell? The quality of silence that is not just absence, but mysterious presence? Some spare transcendence. Call it God. Call it gift. Call it home. A door opens, you're a child. It's a composite of your earliest memories, arriving up the hill to the parish house, stone church, the honeyed light through stained glass, the familiar smell. There's that Sunday school teacher who made you feel seen, the sense of being known by name, noticed. From toddler to child splashing in puddles, to teen, a place for you to land, to wonder and grow. More doors swing open. Now you're home from college, Christmas Eve, all magic and candlelight. Maybe we swing open to your wedding day, or your children's. Your palms sweat as you step through the threshold into another chapter altogether. How about the first Sunday you waddled up the path with a bucket car seat slung in your elbow crease? Most precious cargo, blinking back exhaustion. For a moment, you behold the miracle you're cradling in the wonder of another's eyes. The door swings to the time you just needed to sit in the back and cry. The time you were a newcomer, disoriented, lost. Door swings to the time you realized you were the one welcoming someone else, pointing the way. The door is ajar to that day the sermon was speaking directly to you, and you're given courage to face yourself and make a needed change. Maybe it even changes your life's direction. More doors. Now it's Sunday after ordinary Sunday. You're parking, running up and down that hill, past the Flint's house in all weather, dried leaves, ice, those lilacs that bloom in spring. Look how young you were. Look how little the children were. Sermons and anthems, most of which we don't remember, but gave you bread for the journey, crumbs on the path. The day the door opened and the thing you rolled your eyes at ended up blowing you away. healed something deep inside you. Now you're sliding through a doorway into the potluck line or the parent pickup at the playground, introducing yourself shyly to the stranger with the raucous laugh who would become your best friend. Now the doors swing, as they sometimes do so quickly, between life and death, to memorial service, a loss so large you could fall inside it. The sound of song surrounding you, a sense of the fabric of existence thinning. Tears blur the world's two sharp edges, and you are held. Beloved, the rabbi and therapist Edwin Friedman describes these kinds of moments in our lives as hinges of time, on which the doors of our lives can open and close for generations. And as a community like ours, a faith community like ours, we are uniquely poised to open those doors, to keep them ajar for who's running in after us, to nurture a home for our spirits, for seekers who want to build a world as it could be, who see the gap in the world as it is and how it could be, and want to keep showing up one day, one door at a time. Listen, do you hear it? We're at a hinge moment as a congregation. What are we opening to? How widely? Who will be at home here?
So in case you haven't figured it out, our capital campaign and our stewardship campaign both have their roots in this hand game, this children's rhyme that I remember learning as a kid. Here's the church, here's the steeple. Do it with me if you want to. Open the doors and see all the people. When I was a kid, my favorite part of this game was the last movement, when you turn your hands over and get to wiggle all your fingers. It's so much fun, right? But there's also some good theology embedded in that, I realized as I was thinking about it this week, as we move from the stationary structures of the church and the steeple to that divine spark of activity inside. Ultimately, what's meaningful about a church, as those beautiful vignettes that Kit shared suggest, it's about the people, right? All the wiggly, wonderful, different kinds of people who make their way through our doors. One of the joyful responsibilities that Kit and I have as your co-ministers is trying to keep track of all these people. As we've grown, this has become more and more of a challenging task. Was that Katie Walker or Catherine Walker who made that great announcement? That new member who stood up, was that Jay Adams or Jay Ganson? So your new minister, or not your new ministers, your co-ministers, we keep a shared visitor log where we write down all the new folks, a little note about them, their email addresses if they share them. Now we have a connections team who has a different spreadsheet to try to help our 85 new members get plugged in. Kit and I have one more shared Google document, if you can believe it. It's something we created that's called Hallmarks of a Flourishing Church. Hallmarks of a Flourishing Church. And using the First Parish in Lincoln's 3 values of building community, nurturing spirituality, and pursuing justice, we list specific goals every year that we want to work on and carry forward. I think today, as Stewardship Sunday, is sort of our excuse to share the minister's version of the State of the Union address. We're asking you to contribute, right? So you deserve to know what's been going on. And so I wanted to share with you a few of those specific goals that we've identified and have been working towards this year. Under the value of building community, this year we wanted to broaden the mutual support network of First Parish. The incredible behind-the-scenes work of the Caring Committee is now complemented by 15 trained caring companions, a growing number of small groups which now serve 90 people. We wanted this year to create a vibrant new church logo. Hopefully you've noticed it on your bulletins and on the website. look out for brand new stickers and magnets that we will be giving away next week with the new logo right on there. We wanted to deepen our inclusion and our hospitality. We've attained official welcoming status from the UUA. That means anyone who is looking for a queer-friendly church now can go on the UUA website and find the First Parish in Lincoln. In the realm of nurturing spirituality, we wanted to build fluency across religious traditions and styles through our time down here and then also up the hill in the religious exploration program. We set a target of averaging 25 kids in RE each week. We've been averaging 30. Thanks to Miranda, we've started an amazing children's choir. Your next chance to see them perform is 9 a.m. on Easter Sunday. We wanted to experiment with alternative worship services to deepen our spiritual growth and help us just learn to be more vulnerable with each other. And our midweek Vesper service and our Hearth and Hope Sunday evening services are off to promising starts. And lastly, friends, in the realm of pursuing justice, we wanted to explore specific justice commitments that would complement our outreach giving and our connection with amazing places like the Community Day Center. Led by our racial justice advocates this year, we've had a regular presence at the standouts at the ICE detention facilities in Burlington. In December, we held our own immigrant justice vigil in conjunction with the neat art exhibit that we displayed on our lawn. In some of these areas, growth has been more robust than others, but I did want to share these examples with you because they are all new things that are happening this year, and they're all made possible by your generous support of our stewardship campaign last year. Last year, I got up to the pulpit on Stewardship Sunday and asked you to consider an increase to your pledge, and many of you did. That allowed us to increase the weekly hours for several core staff positions, and I hope I've demonstrated that that investment has really paid off. This year, we aren't asking for an increase to our overall stewardship raise, though we do need to maintain our current giving levels to ensure that our budget continues to support our growth. We've had several members move away, a few members pass away, and so if you haven't made a stewardship pledge before, and I'm speaking to the folks in this room as well as to our friends online, we hope you might consider it this year. What we do get to consider in addition this year, friends, is something that hasn't happened at the First Parish in Lincoln since about 2009, the launch of the public phase of our capital campaign. Most healthy, mid-sized congregations like ours do a capital campaign about every 10 years, so it is time. And Kit and I are so moved by the way that this Opening Doors campaign has evolved under Rosemary Lloyd's and Sarah Andresiak's leadership. This thoughtful process began in small conversations about 18 months ago, through which we've come to focus on enhancing our parish house and our playground. What are we going to get with this new campaign? We'll get a new light-filled, multifunction community room. We'll get a fully accessible building with an elevator and welcoming entrances, including a south entrance that enhances the cohesion of our campus. We'll get a redesigned playground and outdoor space. Kit shared some vignettes from the past. Imagine this future vignette. An elder with a walker making their way up the hill, encountering someone pushing a stroller, and they find themselves in a beautiful playground that also sort of feels like a park, and they just linger and they talk to each other, and they share our shared value of cherishing the living earth together. We also get upgrades, of course, in technology and lighting, acoustics. It's easy to hear all those details and get stuck in the nitty-gritty, but I want to remind us today that all those details really come back to people. It's about all the people. It's about deepening the opportunities for connection between us on Sunday mornings and throughout the week. And I think this is a really important piece, it's about deepening the opportunities for connection between people who we might never see with us in Sunday morning worship. Part of being a community church like ours in a town like Lincoln is becoming a place that people see as their church and find belonging in, even if they will never join a Sunday morning worship service. I'm talking about grandparents dropping off their kids at the Beehive Art Center, people attending a concert like they did last night, people who come through our doors and then might want to come back or might want to tell a friend once they find out we offer weekly meditation or children's choir or Saturday retreats. One other thing that Kit and I get to do as co-ministers sometimes is show off our campus to visitors. Every time we open the door here and we get to walk into the Stearns room, someone's breath is taken away. In 1 second, they see the distant fields in the distance, they see the light and the space, and our church's value of cherishing the living earth is made evident. A room is worth 1,000 words. In the same way, this light-filled community room that we are going to build up the hill will allow us to communicate who we are and what we care about every time a stranger or an old-timer walks into the parish house, which is pretty much every day of the week. Friends, we don't get many chances in life to contribute towards an institution's future in this way. To really shape what experience we are going to offer, what impression we are going to make to someone walking into our doors in 10 years, in 30 years, in 50 years. At some point, right, we will all be gone. But the First Parish in Lincoln will still be here. And so, at this time, and in this country, when elsewhere enormous warehouses are being built to detain immigrants, and elsewhere enormous AI data centers are being built to suck up resources from rural communities, we have the opportunity here to build a different kind of future. Kit and I invite you both to join us in a pledge to both campaigns this spring. Over the course of 3 to 5 years, Kit and I will be contributing a gift to the Opening Doors campaign that is 8 to 10 times what we give yearly to the Stewardship campaign. It's going to take deep commitments to reach our goals. But isn't that exactly what we've seen happen again and again in the history of the First Parish in Lincoln, again and again in the history of the wider church, going all the way back to the story we heard from the Acts of the Apostles? We love the First Parish in Lincoln. We have fallen in love with the soul of this community. We believe it has an essential role to play in our future. Would you join us as we continue the church's story of throwing our doors wide open? Amen.
Please join me in saying our call to ministry. We go forth from the worship of God to be faithful to the vision of Jesus, to affirm each person's dignity, and to cherish the living earth.
That last verse said, help our hands tell of our love. So let's tell of our love together. We're going to do it one more time as our blessing to each other. And let's do a little call and response. All right. Here is the church.
Here is the church.
Here is the steeple.
Here is the steeple.
Open the doors.
Open the doors.
And see all the people. All the people. And now, shout out all the people, all our choir members and bell choir members. Say all the people.
All the people.
Anybody who was at the concert last night, say all the people.
All the people.
Anybody who was feeling weary when you walked in the door this morning, say all the people.
All the people.
Anybody whose life has been changed by this place, say all the people.
All the people.
Anybody who's going to walk out that doors with your heart different today, say all the people.
All the people.
All the people. May it be so. And all the people said, Amen.
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 You may be seated as we move into our announcements. I want to thank Dennis for your beautiful prayer this morning as well. After our announcements, we hope you can stick around for a coffee hour and just a time to visit together right through those doors. I want to lift up a few things and then I'll turn it over to Sarah and Rosemary. So today at 11:30 up the hill, I am leading a Journey to Belonging lunch. This is for anyone who's interested in finding out more about our community. We have a few people signed up, but we have some extra sandwiches. So if anybody else wants to join us up the hill, you can walk up with me a little before 11:30. Please do me a favor, turn towards the back of the bulletin now to see what's coming up in the busy life of our church this week. I want to especially shout out Dinners for 7 that are happening on Friday night. We have about 50 people signed up. 65 people signed up. Amazing. At 7 people's homes. Thanks so much to Liz Elliott for organizing that. And we'll have another one coming up probably in the fall or summer. So we look forward to that. And then, of course, next Sunday is Palm Sunday, which means that begins Holy Week. And we have a beautifully designed flyer, which maybe you want to stick on your fridge to let you know everything that's coming up in the life of the church on that important spiritual week as we move towards Easter. Okay, we have our time for announcements now. If there's anything else to lift up, what isn't in the bulletin, and we're going to kick off today with Rosemary and Sarah.
Thank you, Kit and Nate. Thank you all for being here. There is information in your bulletin, so we're breaking the rules a little bit by announcing something that is in the bulletin. But we need your attention. It's that time of the year again, stewardship. So starting tomorrow, there'll be some emails and some paper mail telling you all about how you can support all the people. We're aiming to wrap this up in just 7 weeks, so please pledge early and generously.
But wait, there's more. As Kit and Nate both alluded to, we are running 2 campaigns this year, so it's a little confusing, but it's the same but different. We're talking to you twice about money, but just about once we're going to do that. We're running 2 campaigns, All the People and Opening Doors. Opening Doors, the campaign to restore our beautiful parish house, to make it more beautiful.
And so if you want to learn more, and we really need you to learn more, we need a little more of your attention. We hope you will sign up for one of our house parties campaign conversations that will be in 10 different parishioners' homes. Information will be coming about that. We hope everyone will sign up and join us. Nice and brief. And yes, we can learn all about our staff, our programs, and all the ways that we can create the future for First Parish that will stand long after we are gone.
Yeah, so please check your email boxes, check your snail mail boxes, sign up for the conversations. The campaign conversations will be posting those dates and whose houses they will be in, and get ready to support First Parish once more in a really big way. Thank you. It's going to be an exciting season We can only do it together with you, with all the people.
Thank you.
Other announcements to lift up? Yes.
Hi, I'm Susan Taylor, and I'm an adjunct. Is that what I am now with the Outreach Committee? And Amanda Hill, wave your hand, Amanda, in the back there, and Chloe Rose. And we are going to affirm each person's dignity and go to Community Day Center and serve lunch and whatever else we can do to help sort clothes, deliver mail, because people who come often don't have a place to get mail except at Chloe Rose's place. April 16th is the day that Anne-Marie DeMeo, who runs the kitchen, says that would be a great day to come and pilot this. I need 3 or 4 people to commit to coming to lunch Thursday the 16th, and then we can make it happen and everybody can contribute brownies, men's clothing, start saving your men's clothing. So there will be more information, but I also wore a bright pink sweater, so you can find me in the coffee hour to give me your email and we can talk further. The goal here is to get a group of people familiar with how it works over there, which is different. How many people here have done lunch at Community Day before? I think we had a good group of about 12 of us who used to do it before pandemic. A lot has changed, but we need a group of folks to come, figure it out, and then next year we can secure some dates on holiday days or that everybody can come. But this is, I hope we can get a good core group to come with us. So put it on your calendar, let me know, April 16th.
Hi, Amanda Hill, Outreach again. Continuing our requests for charitable giving. We just want to remind everybody that the Easter service will devote the entire offering to the International Institute of New England, specifically the Unaccompanied Children Program, which delivers a great number of services to children who are alone during the immigration process. They have outposts in Boston, Lowell, and Manchester, New Hampshire. I guess I'll keep it short and just say some of us attended a webinar that they gave and described the many services that they offer. One of the ones that just kind of broke my heart was there are after-school programs that are run for these children, specifically the younger ones, where the sole focus is play, because these are children who have not had play in their lives. And anyway, that will be Easter offering, and we'll all have the opportunity to support that.
Well, good morning, everyone. If you took a look in your news brief this past Thursday, you might have seen a little save the date announcement for my ecclesiastical council. That will be on Monday, April 13th at 6 p.m. here. This is not the ordination service, that's coming soon, but first I have to get through this last hoop. This is basically, I will stand for a council of delegates from various churches of the United Church of Christ who will ask me questions about my theology, and then they will vote to authorize me for ministry. And I was told that members and friends of First Parish can be there as in support and listening in, and it might be a good opportunity to get to know a little bit about what the ordination journey is like. So if you're interested, you'd like to come out and support, I invite you to be here on April 13th, 6 p.m. And then once I am voted to be authorized for ministry, I'll be eligible to go into search for a called position. And once I am called, then I am ordained right here at First Parish in Lincoln as my home congregation that has held me through this long and wonderful and incredible process. So thank you all for your support all these years, and stay tuned for more.
I think that's a beautiful note to end on. Thank you for being with us this Sunday morning. May we go in peace.